morning, everyone. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Asselin and I am a lifestyle YouTuber, and I have a podcast called In Bloom Podcast, and I'm also a CPA at a Big 4 firm. And this week we're gonna be doing another work week in my life. If you don't follow along with me on social media, which you should if you aren't already, if you haven't watched my recent videos, I recently just got back from vacation, quite literally yesterday, from going back to my hometown, Panama City Beach, Florida, for about a week to take some vacation time and to pick up my wedding dress, and also went to Gulf Coast Jam while I was at home. Had a really amazing time and did not want vacation to end, but we are getting back into the swing of things this week. And one of you all recently commented for me to like do a wellness focused week in my life, and I really liked the idea of that, especially for my first week back from vacation. Most of you all know I really struggle with just being present and enjoying my day-to-day life and my job, because I just feel really in misalignment with my values. I'm not going to elaborate on that because I do all the time. With that being said, you can imagine that my mental health is pretty impacted by that, especially when I come back from vacation and I'm back to reality after being in like my favorite place, having to go back to work and everything. Obviously that takes a toll on your mental health. I'm sure we all know the feeling. If you work, you know, any type of job, you know the feeling of that first day back after vacation when you're like, okay, back to reality, I gotta get back in routine. And we got back yesterday. I went ahead and picked up groceries yesterday evening, and I meal prepped our lunches for the week, so I at least have that taken care of. I thought this week was a perfect opportunity to do a wellness focused week in my life, especially because I am, you know, obviously mentally and emotionally struggling with coming off of vacation. Really just trying to look at the bright side of things though, and just be thankful for the time that I did get to take off, and be thankful that my job provides me with money to be able to travel home and to go to a country music festival and do things like that. Really just trying to look at it that way, but of course still like allowing myself to just like be sad that it's over, you know? Wellness is really, really important to me, and you all know that. I really just plan on kind of sharing little tidbits of how I prioritize my wellness throughout the week, especially with being a really busy person, with planning a wedding, working a corporate job, and then with being a content creator as well. I'm definitely, you know, juggling a lot. Wellness is so much more than physical for me. I don't have optimal physical health if my mental and emotional is not really being prioritized. The reverse is true as well. But I did just go to a morning F45 workout class, and I just made my orange juice and vanilla protein smoothie, as you all know that I love to have. And we're getting back to work. I'm probably going to take a body shower at lunchtime, or I'll just wait until after work. Kind of just want to go ahead and get through my emails and everything that I missed over the last week. So let's go ahead and get to work, and welcome to another work week in my life. So what I wore to F45, I wore this Story sports bra. I actually just got this in the mail while I was on vacation. I know I showed y'all some Story stuff I got a while ago. They did like a buy one get two things free sale. They just did another one at sometime in May, but from the initial time I had ordered from them, they didn't have two of the things I ordered, and they sent me like a $120 gift card, even though what I was ordering was not even like at that value. I had $120 to spend at Story, and they did a buy one get two things free sale like a few weeks ago. So I ordered like a bunch of sports bras, I think like 4 sports bras and 2 pairs of leggings. This is one of the sports bras. It's a really pretty blue color, and then the back is just like a normal racer back, and then I have on my Fast and Free leggings and my Ultra Boost as usual. Lunchtime, and I'm going to go ahead and heat up some meal prep. So last night I made a bunch of food. I pretty much just put some chicken breasts and buffalo sauce and honey and a little bit of chicken broth in the Instant Pot on high for like 12 minutes, and then shredded the chicken afterwards. And I just kind of did like a 1/3 cup of buffalo sauce and probably about a 1/3 cup of honey, and then added a 1/4 cup of chicken broth, I believe. But I also made some green beans in the oven at 425 for about 20 minutes. And then I had some sweet potatoes from H-E-B that come in the bag that you just throw in the microwave. And I basically just stuck those in the microwave for the time it said on the bag. I think it was 8 minutes. And then I diced up all of the sweet potatoes and then season them with some smoked paprika, garlic salt, and garlic powder. I wanted to talk about my first focal point for wellness for this week's wellness themed vlog. I feel like when a lot of us think about exercising and working out and taking care of ourselves physically, we tend to just think of it as crossing an item off of a to-do list, right? So we always think of it as something that, you know, we'll do when we have time for it rather than making time for it. And it usually feels like a bit of a burden because we treat it like a to-do list item. But so many of us tend to overlook the fact that working out and physical health and fitness is so much more than just the big idea and the concept of going and working out. It really starts with the small things. So what I mean by this is if you're somebody who doesn't really have habits that support being able to take care of your physical health by exercising, then you probably only think of exercising as a to-do list item and something that you kind of just need to check off or cross off. But it all starts with your habits. So for example, going to a morning workout class, I have to think of the smaller habits that I can implement into my routine that will help me feel more motivated to go to a morning workout class, and instead of thinking about whether or not I want to go, to just sign up and go and not even really think twice about it. Actually getting up and going and working out and having it be a part of your routine and not something that you feel like you're constantly battling with in your head of whether or not you should go, and turning it into something that you just naturally do is all about looking at it on a micro level with your habits. For example, if I start on the micro level, say I want to work out in the morning, I have to think of other habits that will help me want to and actually follow through with working out in the morning. So for example, I have to implement something that I look forward to in the morning before going to work out that will help me get out of bed. For me, that's reading. I love reading, and I especially love reading in the morning and giving that time to myself before I start my work day. So even if I'm just reading for 10 or 15 minutes before I go to a workout class, being able to get up and read my book is something that excites me. And that habit alone is a building block or stepping stone, I guess you could say, to help me get to actually following through with going to a morning workout class. And another little building block or stepping stone habit is making sure you're getting enough sleep. If you're trying to go work out at 5:30 in the morning, but you're not going to sleep until midnight, of course you're not gonna wanna get up and go. Those small little choices and the little habits have such a big impact and play a big role in your ability to follow through and actually stay committed to getting up and going to work out or maintaining your physical health. I have to think about the micro level of the inputs that go into working out, and then you need to think of the micro level when it comes to the outputs of what you get out of working out. And thinking of it as like an inputs and outputs approach just really helps me because I no longer focus on it being this big chore and to-do item, which I always used to just think of working out as, ugh, I have to go do this and I don't really feel like it. And I would sort of think of it as this big to-do that just takes a lot of time out of my day. But when I started thinking of it as, okay, each of these little inputs and habits, such as having a good sleep routine, doing something I look forward to in the morning, having a playlist that pumps me up and gets me ready to go work out, all of those things feel a lot more tangible than actually going to work out. So if I focus on those smaller micro habits and those things I like to do before I work out, I feel a lot more inclined and motivated to go do it. The more you commit to those little habits over time, it sort of just becomes a second nature process. So you're not really thinking, I have to go work out. It's just sort of become a part of your routine to implement all of those little habits, which ultimately add up together and lead to you following through with the larger habit of going to work out. Then when you focus on the micro perspective of the outputs in terms of what you get out of working out, such as the feeling of endorphins after a workout. I love the way I feel right after a workout, feeling stronger, noticing progress, having better mental clarity, sleeping better at night. When you think of all those little things, instead of just looking at it as the act of going to work out, it seriously becomes so much easier to make it this second nature process instead of something that you feel like you're always having to think about and put into your schedule, and you'll really start to just prioritize it and have it be a part of your routine naturally. I've got my lunch heated up though and my Olipop cream soda, and then I'm gonna walk Ella and get back to work. It's lunchtime now and I haven't updated y'all, but this morning I pretty much took my whole morning to finish up reading Meet Me at the Lake, which I thought was so good. I will leave my Goodreads linked, and I wrote like an actual legitimate review for it this morning, and I posted on my Instagram story that I have no rhyme or reason for the way that I choose to leave reviews for books on Goodreads. If I had it my way, I would leave like thorough reviews for everything I read. But unfortunately, a lot of times I try to like let the book sit in my head for a week, because I normally, my first instinct when rating a book is to, it has like an automatic minimum of 4 stars, because I'm really easy to please when it comes to reading. As long as I don't think a book is like hard to get through, I generally speaking will love the book. So I usually try to avoid reviewing books right away, because they all, I'm basically like 4+ stars for all of them. But then once I like start critically thinking about the book, then I'm like, okay, realistically maybe it wasn't my favorite, maybe isn't worth 4 stars, whatever. But what ends up happening is I usually forget to go back and leave a review and rate it and everything, or a lot of times I'll rate it as soon as I finish it, and then like a few months later I'm like, if this other book I just finished with a 4, there's no way I can rate that one a 4, you know what I mean? But I actually just felt like I wanted the lake one for me at the lake right after, but I give it a solid 4.2. I thought that it was a lot more relatable than Every Summer After, and I know I've mentioned that I thought that it was related to Every Summer After, but it's actually not. So if you don't compare it to that book and you just like let it be its own book, I feel like it is a pretty good book in my opinion. I know that's an unpopular opinion because a lot of people haven't liked it, and a lot of people don't like it and Every Summer After, honestly, because the main character makes questionable choices. But in my opinion, I'm not somebody who's going to dock a rating because a character makes questionable choices. Just because they make those questionable choices doesn't mean that I agree with them. Like, it is fiction, it's not my life and not affecting my life, so I don't really care if a character is, you know, making questionable decisions. But I really love the setting of the lake and the city. It made it like a really cozy summer read. I honestly just thought it was a lot more relatable than Every Summer After in a couple aspects, because the main characters were kind of stuck in the limbo between realizing they didn't want what they once did for themselves and finding the courage to pursue what they want now for themselves, and accept that they can let go of that they once wanted and accept what they actually do want now. I thought that was very relatable, and I thought a lot of their other struggles were relatable as compared to like Every Summer After. I just didn't find the characters like as relatable, I guess you could say. I thought it was a pretty good book overall. Was it my favorite read ever? No, but I do think it's worth reading personally, so I did enjoy it. I'm gonna heat up the same leftovers I had yesterday for lunch, and hopefully gonna make it to an F45 class this evening, but I'm honestly kind of swamped at work. I am so drained and so exhausted. You would think that I had more energy coming off of a week of vacation, but I just freaking don't. My head hurts so bad just from like being so deep in what I was doing today, having to think really hard. I literally cried 3 separate times today, like just full on breakdown, and like could not feel like I could breathe because I was just like hyperventilating and crying. And I don't like when I get this way, but I find that if I don't let myself cry when I get really frustrated, I just end up, it's just not good, because I just let it build up and then I implode and it affects my work. So it's better for me to just like sob for 5 minutes, walk away, and then come back to what I'm doing. I was frustrated about that. I was just frustrated because I couldn't figure something out, and then I was just frustrated because I just had stuff piling up, and I just was getting annoyed because every time I felt like I was crossing something off, so much more would get added to what I needed to do. Face just hurts really bad because I've been clenching my jaw too, but I do not feel like working out at all, like literally in the slightest. I don't want to do it at all, but I know I need an endorphin rush right now because of the way my head feels, and I just feel like it'll really clear my head if I go work out. I'm gonna go to an F45 class, even though it's the last thing I want to do. And I also have to submit an integration for a brand deal literally tomorrow, and I haven't filmed it yet, and I have a video like basically mostly edited for it, but I think what I'm gonna have to do is either film it tonight when it's like dark, and just use like my light, or I'm gonna have to like wake up early and do it before work tomorrow. It's 6:15 right now, and Griffin's making our dinner, and I'm just gonna eat when I come back from F45. But I just changed. Free to be long line sports bra, and then I have on my base pace leggings. But just another tip for wellness is when you have a rough day or a rough moment at work, if you can, just step away from whatever it is you're doing and definitely try to prioritize getting some sort of movement, or at least getting away from your work setup, whether that's, you know, like leaving work and leaving all the problems at your physical office, or if you work from home, you know, stepping away and like leaving your home if you can, so you can just sort of switch your mind to a different place. If I were to just be like, no, I'm not working out right now, I don't feel like it, because I genuinely don't, I would still feel really anxious and really worked up, like in my chest, and feel all the pressure in my chest and in my head and everything. But going to work out is going to give me a lot of endorphins and just really help me get a lot of the built up stress and energy from today out. And you really just can't rely on just your motivation, because I don't feel motivated to go work out right now and I don't want to do it. But when I think of my future self, I know that I will feel better and I will fall asleep better and I will be able to relax better this evening if I go do this now. And with the way my head feels right now, I've had this feeling before, and the only thing that ever helps it is going and getting endorphins flowing. So sometimes it's literally just thinking about your future self and thinking about what you need rather than what you want. Getting some time in the sun right now. I haven't talked to y'all yet today because this morning I woke up early and I had to film a brand deal and basically like wash my hair and then like style my hair for it. And then I had the video edited for the brand deal, but I had to edit the actual brand deal portion. So I had to do all that before 9 this morning, but I was able to get it all done like in perfect timing. So I haven't talked to y'all today. I've been pretty busy at work and I'm just taking a break outside right now on my lunch break. So I'm gonna heat up some leftovers from last night. And sorry for all the outdoor noises. It's actually kind of nice though. It's really, really hot, but I like to try and get some like direct sunlight on my lunch break when I can. And that's just like another solid wellness habit of mine, because it just sort of breaks up my day and makes me feel like my day has a separation between like the morning and afternoon, and I feel like I get more energy when I sit out in the sun for at least, you know, like 10-15 minutes on my lunch break. So I try to do that, because getting outdoors and not like looking at my computer and looking at farther distances is really helpful for just like my eyesight and stuff too. My eyesight has gotten so bad since working virtually. It'll start storming, so it's super dark in here, but it is 5:30 and Griff and I are going to an F45 class together because today is like National Best Friend Day or something. So I was like, I can bring you with me because they're letting you bring your best friend for free or whatever. So he's my best friend today for F45, and literally my little set is from Story. It's just, this is like almost identical, basically same exact material and everything to the Flow Y bra from Lulu, but it's mesh in the back right here. But every other part of it is the exact same, but this one fits better because the straps aren't so long. Because the Flow Y bras from Lulu, I would like them a million times more if the straps weren't so long or if they were adjustable. And then these leggings are also Story, but they have a little gray, dark gray detail right here at the top. And then my Ultra Boost, of course. I just ate some Belvitas, and today's been a long day at work. I'm working on it right now. It's just like very tedious. Cried every day this week and I'm freaking over it. I just feel like I cannot keep up and I can't like catch a break, and I know that I'm doing too much, but it's like I can't pull the reins back on anything, because if I do, it's like everything will crumble. I hear Ella coming. She always runs when I start crying, and it's so sweet because I feel like she just knows, you know. Ella, come here, baby. Come here. Come here. It's getting to the point where it's like, and I know a lot of it has to do with just like the season of my life that I'm in, especially with wedding planning, but it's like people will ask like us to do something on the weekend, and I like either one and just dread people asking me to do things because I know I have to say no, because I work most of the weekends, and the little bit of time I do have on the weekends I want to like be doing something myself and resting. When I say work, I mean like recording my podcast, editing my YouTube videos, and getting content and stuff. And now I'm just like, okay, I've literally been living in Houston for 2 years. I haven't made any friends of my own. Like, I have my one close friend that I met for my internship, and I literally only see her like once a month maybe, and that's the only social time I get. And I just feel like it's when I like actually, it used to not bother me, but when I sit and think about it, it's just like sounds kind of depressing. And then when I think about the fact that I'm literally just like working all the freaking time, it like makes me just not very happy, of course. The same stuff I'm always struggling with. I think I really need to consider taking a social media detox or something, because I feel like I'm getting to the point where I cannot get on social media without getting upset or comparing myself to someone else who has more free time or whose content performs really well. But I also feel like I just need to take a detox, because I feel like I'm just trying so hard to keep up like on everything, and I need to like stop trying to keep up on every single platform. I'm like tired of my content on YouTube, because I feel like I literally am just doing the same thing all the time, because I'm working all day long and I can't really share a lot about what I do for work because of the nature of my work. It's the same old stuff, but then it's like I obviously don't really have time to get other content and shoot other content. I just am feeling so incredibly exhausted and burnt out, and I just don't even think I should feel this way, given the fact that I literally just took a week off of work for the most part. So I'm just like, why do I still feel this way? I guess that's just what burnout is. I really need to go back to therapy too. I have not been in therapy since like March. Happy Friday. I just got home. I went on a walk with Ella and ran the Starbucks. And let me just say, I have not been the biggest fan of Starbucks lately. Like, I really have only had it 4 times maybe in the last like 2 or 3 months. I haven't been loving it and haven't really been thinking it's been like worth the money. However, when they had the pistachio cream cold brew, I would be going way more often, because I absolutely loved that drink, but they got rid of it. And I still love some of their other drinks, but I'm just like, I can make a pretty solid coffee at home. So while I've been home, I haven't had Starbucks in literally like, I've probably had it once or twice in the span over the last 2 or 3 months. I do like the drink I got today. I tried something different. I haven't seen this anywhere. I just kind of was trying to make something that kind of tastes like what I have at home, but with cold foam. So I got a grande shaken espresso iced, change it to blonde espresso, and then I added the salted caramel cold foam, because that's like my favorite cold foam they have. No classic syrup, cinnamon powder, and then 2 pumps of the honey blend instead of a syrup. The syrups have just been tasting like extra chemically to me lately. And if I were to get a grande again, I would only do 1 pump of the honey blend, because I didn't realize how strong their honey blend like flavor was. It's good, it's just like a little bit too much in this drink right now. So next time I'll just do 1 pump of honey blend in a grande. And then I think there's 2% milk in it. I didn't change the milk because I was just like fine with it coming with a 2% and 5 cold foam. Like, what's the point of getting oat milk? I'm gonna eat my overnight oats. It's like 8:10. I'm gonna try and get on to work in the next like 15 minutes, hopefully. I'm trying to decide right now if I want to read while I eat my breakfast, or if I want to try and journal. I was gonna journal last night because I just actually felt like I could, and y'all know I struggle with journaling a lot, but I just actually felt like I could last night because I was just really upset, and I was like, let me just try and like journal out my feelings and everything. But I didn't end up doing it because I was actually making the Instagram post for my podcast on Instagram in bed, and it took longer than I anticipated. So I didn't end up journaling. I think I might try and journal a little bit this morning to do a brain dump. I really want to just try and get in the habit of doing like a page a day. I feel like that could be good for me. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but I'm finishing up 101 essays that'll change the way you think. I read most of it that like a little over a year ago, and I thought I finished it a year ago, and I guess I just never did. But I go back to my highlights in it all the time, and I realized the other day when I was like trying to figure out what I wanted to read, and I saw it was in my library, I was like, why doesn't it say I finished this? And then I realized I was only like 75% of the way through it. So I'm trying to finish that before I start like my next book, just because I do really like the book and I do want to finish it.
I think I just start her day with a little hot girl walk.
Please.
And did the bean and got a good lick. And she did a little hot girl walk.
been power washed outside, and I went and got my nails done after work and just made our dinner. We have these like chicken pineapple tacos from HelloFresh. Here are my nails. They're like a super hot pink. They look a lot more like red on camera and in photos. But I pretty much just chose like the brightest pink I could get. I never get like dark colors like this. I know it's not dark, but it's just like I usually get pastels, so I'm not used to this, but I do really like them. About to start working on our save the dates, and I wanted to show you guys. I'm using Artifact Uprising because I'm actually just creating content for them in exchange for credit so that I could get my save the dates for free, which I'm very thankful for, but I'm really excited to show them to y'all. Y'all see more on my Instagram and everything, and I'll mention them in other videos too, but I want to mention them multiple times because I do have a discount code through them, which is obviously helpful for you all. These are the envelopes. They're just like cute little rounded ones, and this is a blank one. Well, it's not blank, it has our address and name up here. Super easy because you can upload an Excel file, and I used Postable to get all of my contact like information. I basically sent out this link to people on our list, and then they would fill out their information like with their name, their +1 if applicable, and then their address. And then it puts it all into, you can like export it into a file from the Postable website, and it's totally free. And then I uploaded that and made sure it was in the right format for Artifact Uprising, which it was basically the exact same format from the Postable download. I uploaded that in the Artifact Uprising, and then like all the addressing was done for me, so we don't have to like do any of the addressing, which is so huge for me because it saves so much time, which y'all know. I'm doing everything I can to like save time, save money, and everything for the wedding. But they came super quick in the mail, and I'm really excited to just get them packed up and everything. So we're gonna start doing these, and I really wanna get them sent out tomorrow, but I don't know if we can pack all of them tonight, so we'll see. But yeah, I'll leave the discount code down below for y'all if you want to check out Artifact Uprising for your save the dates. Let me just show y'all ours. I used some of the pictures that we took with Aleka Sinclair Photography back in, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that was in March. That's so crazy to think about. We took these in March, and it just has our date and names, and then I just did like a very classic timeless kind of like style and font. I'm gonna try and like not say the date or anything until we got married, but because I'm working with brands, it kind of makes it hard when it's on invitations and stuff. All right guys, it's 11:15 and we finished up packing up all the wrapping, stuffing, whatever word you want to use for all the save the dates. I felt really good. We still have to put the stamps on them, but I'm just gonna like have Griffin do that part tomorrow, and I have a lot to do this weekend, getting brand deal stuff shot and everything, and I'm getting a little bit ahead for some brand deal sponsor content. I want to like be a little ahead on everything, but we are picking up Griffin's parents and maybe his 2 siblings that are home for mamakables in the morning at like 8, and then we're going to a farmer's market, so I'm really excited for that. I think I'm gonna vlog this weekend. I wasn't going to, but I think I'm going to now. I think that filming this brand deal that I need to film in my next video will just flow better and be less stressful if I do it this weekend as opposed to trying to do it this week in a hurry. But what I've been doing is I've been finalizing our wedding website, so it's ready to go besides like our schedule, because we don't have our schedule solidified for the wedding or anything yet. And then I just need to put details for like room blocks and stuff at hotels, but I have pretty much everything else taken care of on the wedding website, so that's what I've been doing the last like 2 hours. I can't believe it took that long, but it did. And I'm gonna shower, just take a quick body shower right now because I am definitely sweaty and gross because we took Ella on a walk this evening too, so I'm just feeling a little gross. And then I'm gonna get in bed. I wanted to start a new book tonight or finish up 101 essays that'll change the way you think, but it's already literally almost, it's gonna be 11:30 before I get in bed, so I need to just get as much sleep as I can since I need to get up early, especially since I'm gonna be trying to film something in the morning before we go. I'm gonna have to get up at like the same time I normally get up for work tomorrow on Saturday, so it's tragic, but it's all blessings, great because of great things and everything, so it's fine. I'm very thankful for it, and I will gladly sacrifice sleep to film a brand deal for one of my dream brands all day long. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this work week in my life. I hope you all enjoyed it, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Check out my podcast called In Bloom Podcast wherever you listen. Follow me on social media so you can keep up with me more in real time, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload, and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next vlog.